What's up, travellers? Welcome back to the channel. SJ Aviation HQ. Welcome back to the channel today. Today we have the model review of the United Airlines Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner released by NG Models. This model here released in the April 2025 release by NG Models, but of course anything else, go ahead and leave a thumbs up below. That'll of course be a great indication of how much you enjoyed today's video and of course the content here on this channel. When I come along to tune into more content like this, including the next model reviews, unboxings and airport updates, go ahead and subscribe below. While you're there, dim the bell icon, turn the notifications on for the new content coming out very soon onto the channel. This being the model review of the United Airlines 787-8 Dreamliner released by NG Models. Before I go ahead and showcase the box for you guys, I'm going to first read out some information about the airline of United Airlines and then some information about this aircraft. Let's go ahead and do that for you guys. Founded on April the 6th of 1926 and commencing their operations on March the 28th of 1931. United Airlines is a major American carrier headquartered at the Willis Tower in Chicago, Illinois, that operates an extensive domestic and international route network spanning across the United States of America and all 6 of the world's continents. According to planespotters.net, United operates an aircraft fleet consisting of 1,040 aircraft, including 78 of the Boeing 787 Dreamliners, which of course includes 12 of the Dash 8s, 45 of the Dash 9s, and 21 of the longer Dash 10 Dreamliners, with an order of 142 Boeing 787-9s that will soon be joining the fleet of United Airlines. United Airlines joins the Star Alliance Airline Alliance as one of the 5 founding members on May the 14th of 1997, which of course included Air Canada, Lufthansa, Thai Airways, and now the former member being Scandinavian Airlines. Let's go ahead and read out some information of this particular airframe now. This aircraft MSN number or manufacturer series number is 34825. This aircraft here has the line number of 55, which means this airframe here was the 55th 787 to roll out for Boeing. This aircraft here is a 13-year-old Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, which performed its first flight on November the 21st of 2012. Built and produced in Everett, Plainfield, just north of Seattle, Washington. And this airframe is currently active on the network of United Airlines. Wearing the registration of November 45905, this aircraft here was delivered to United Airlines on December the 14th of 2012. This aircraft is equipped with 2 Gen X 1 Bravo 70 engines and was ferried between Plainfield and Los Angeles, California on December the 14th of 2012 on its delivery flight. So very nice indeed. Of course, this aircraft was delivered wearing the post-merger livery, now currently painted into the ever so elegant Evo Blue livery. And of course, United Airlines is one of the only airlines, I believe, America's first customer of the 787 to operate all of the 3 variants of the 787 family. So very cool indeed, and I was very happy to get this model in my collection. Unboxed it recently on the channel. Go ahead and check it out, top right corner right about now. So that with that out of the way, the reading out of the airline and the aircraft, let's go ahead and showcase the box for you guys. So very, very nice indeed. Here we have the United Airlines logo in the top left corner. Underneath that we can see the 787-8 Dreamliner text there. Very nice. And indeed, here we have the United Airlines 787-8. Let me know which of the Dreamliner variants do you prefer the Evo Blue livery on. Of course, I'm very biased to the Dash 9 Dreamliner, but I do think the Evo Blue livery looks fantastic on the Dash 8. Very cool indeed. Here we have the registration of the aircraft, November 45905. And of course, here we have the scale of the aircraft. Very nice indeed. Here we have the aircraft, of course, being a 787-8 Dreamliner, registration again with the 2D rendering of the aircraft below that, and then the barcode just here with the item number 59032. On the right panel we have the text where it says this is a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner and the United Airlines logo there, and of course the scale as well. On this panel it's identical to the opposite side with the aircraft type, registration and the aircraft itself. And on this side we have the aircraft details again and the United Airlines logo there and the scale. On the back of the box we have the 2D rendering of the aircraft looking pretty indeed within this livery, and then we have some warning information here with the correct spelling of warning. I haven't seen that for a while on an NG Models box. And then we have the warning information where it says this aircraft is not suitable for anyone under 14. And of course this aircraft was made in China. One thing I haven't mentioned so far is how wonderful the background of this box art is, with the Evo Blue globe there. Very nice, it's very elegant. Love this livery a lot. Apologies for the truck we were about to hear just a moment ago. Rush hour here on the east coast of New Zealand. So with that out of the way, the showcasing of the reading out of the airline details, the aircraft details, and the showcasing of the box, let's go ahead and check out the model. And here is the absolutely stunning United Airlines Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. We're in this Evo Blue livery, of course released by NG Models in their April 2025 release. In this portion of the video, I'll showcase the model up close to the camera for you guys, giving you some nice up close shots of the model, of course giving you some insights about what some of those components do in the event of a flight. Let's go ahead and dive straight into the review of the model. So first and foremost, zooming into the aircraft and then getting it into the shot for you guys. And here it is, looking absolutely stunning indeed. One of the best molds in terms of the 787 in my personal opinion. I mean, I do have quite a few of them in terms of Dreamliners in my collection. I am the Dreamliner collector that people seem to know of, so very, very nice indeed. Nice to have the United Airlines Evo Blue livery in my collection now that I have the -8, -9 and -10 in terms of all of the variants in the Evo Blue livery. Of course, go ahead and check out the model review I did of the United Airlines 787-9 or 10, either one of them, by NG Models, top right corner right about now. Go ahead and check that out. Here we have in the front portion of the aircraft, we have the nose cone. Now underneath that is a component called the weather radar, and that is used to detect storms along the flight path of a flight, of course to give a visual indication to the pilots or the crew on board the aircraft, a visual indication about the weather ahead of them, whether it is the rainfall intensity or the turbulence ahead of them as well. Enables them to potentially navigate around any dangerous areas of their flight path, so very cool. Here we have the iconic looking cockpit windows of the Dreamliner, look very, very nice, very cool. And here we have the Star Alliance logo, of course a member of the Star Alliance. I did mention it earlier on in the video, but I'll leave the date of which they joined the alliance in the top and the bottom of the screen right about now for you guys. And here in the middle of the shot, wonder if I'm able to zoom in a little bit further. No, I can't, but I'll try my best in terms of focusing on it for you guys. There we go. It says connecting people, joining the world, I think it says. Not too sure. I'll put what it says on the bottom corner of the screen, or the bottom of the screen now for you guys. Now here we have the angle of attack sensor. The angle of attack, or AOA sensor, offers a visual indication to the pilots of the amount of lift the wings are generating at a given airspeed or angle of bank. And of course below that we can see the two pitot tubes just there. Very nice indeed. Now the pitot tubes are used to measure fluid flow velocity. Very cool and indeed. Here we have the nose gear door with the numbers 0905 is that, and of course that is the fleet number of this aircraft, also seen near the rear of the aircraft. And of course below that we can see the word ETOPS. Now I'm not too sure what that stands for off the top of my head, just as I'm doing the review, but I'll do some research in terms of what that means. But I'll put that on the bottom of the screen now for you guys. And I believe that little text there behind that red line is saying that this is a 787-8. Very cool. Also says that underneath the just here above my thumb here, which we'll have a look at that later on in the video. Here we have the nose gear itself. As you can see, it is rolling. Very nice indeed. Here we have the first of the two cabin doors for this aircraft, of course the L1 boarding door. Very, very nice. Not too sure why this model is so dirty at the moment, but oh well, just ignore that. Very cool. Here we have the cabin doors. The cabin windows with the UN behind it. Here we have the L2 boarding door. Very cool indeed. And here we have the first antenna on top of the fuselage just there with the SATCOM. Of course the Wi-Fi dome that provides the IFE on board the aircraft. I see behind each of the seats. Now one thing that I must note out is that there is no beacon light on the top of the model. It is meant to be where that little circle is there, but surely they could put like a red dot on top of the model. For some reason their Dreamliners NG models don't have the beacon lights on top of them for some reason, but oh well, that should be on the bottom of the aircraft, which we've seen later on in the video, which you can actually see it there. Very cool. Now here we have what is known as the pedostatic system, just here on the side of the fuselage here, that is used to determine an aircraft's airspeed, Mach number, altitude and altitude trends, or other words, the vertical speed or the climb rate of the aircraft. Very cool. Now here we have the fairing, the joining of the fuselage and the wing just here. Very nice indeed, as cool as always. And of course right here in the middle of the shot, if I'm able to give it a wee focus for you guys. There we go. That is the wing light. That of course is used on when the aircraft is on an active runway, and of course in the event of flight between 0 and 10,000 feet. So very cool indeed. Just further down here, I believe just there in the middle of the shot, just there at the end of my finger there, that is called the wing light, or the illumination wing light. That is used to illuminate the wing, or the leading edge of the wing, and of course the intake of the engine during night operations, and of course low visuals, or in the operation of an airport. So very cool. And here, of course, here we have this side's Gen X 1 Bravo engine. Of course, the GE variant of the 787 engine. Just trying my best in terms of the focusing on it. But there we go, there it is. Very nice indeed. I do love this livery quite a lot on the 787. Even though my least favourite colour is the colour blue. Now that I have actually seen this aircraft in person, this particular airframe, that's basically the reason why I ended up getting this particular model. Departing out of Christchurch towards the south, for some reason it did a left bank over the city. Saw the wing flex for all of its glory, and I took a screenshot of the aircraft doing its track on Flight Radar 24, and of course I kept a log of what the registration was, and it turns out NG Models went ahead and released it. So there we go. And of course here we have the chevrons here at the end of the nacelle here, of course iconic to the 787, and of course seen on the 737 MAX series, and of course the 747-8 as well. Very nice. And there we have a nice clear view of the engine's pylon there, looking rather fancy indeed. Now here we have is the landing gear, if I'm able to get a focus on it for you guys. Now the thing is, they do not tilt on the struts here, but they do indeed roll, as you can see. There's the other one, rolling freely on its axis there. And of course here we have the leading edge of the wing here. Very nice detailing on the leading edge here, going down to the raked wingtip of the 787, one of my favourite parts of the 787 Dreamliner in general, whether it's a -8, -9 or -10, as all variants have the same wingspan. Here we have the red navigation light just there. On the opposite side it will be green, which we'll get to in a moment. Now here they should have also put the strobe lights. Now the strobe lights on a Dreamliner is very distinctive, very bright LED white light that flashes once in the event of flight. If it was an Airbus, that of course that strobe light would flash twice whilst in flight or on an active runway. Very cool. And then here we have the trailing edge of the wing, looking absolutely fantastic with its details of the spoilers, the flaps, and of course the aileron just there in the middle of the shot there. Very nice indeed. And of course here we have the L3 door, not really used as a boarding door of such, mainly used in the event of an emergency, especially when evacuating the aircraft via either the runway or the apron. Very cool. And then moving down the aircraft, we have the registration of the aircraft, November 45905, with of course the flag of the United States of America. Very cool. Then we have the blue Dreamliner text here. Very nice. Of course the Dreamliner logo there with the moon, crescent moon logo there. Very cool. And of course here we have the bottom antenna, the only antenna that is on the bottom of the fuselage. In the middle of the shot here we can make out one of those cabin doors. Not a cabin door, it's a cargo door, my bad. Very cool. And then here we have two more of those antenna on the aircraft. Very cool. And here we have the L4 door. Can be used as a boarding door via an apron via those air stairs, of course, leading you to those buses that will then take you to the terminal or where you need to go. Here we have the fleet number again, 0905. And then we get to my favourite part of the livery, and that of course is the tail fin. Very nice looking globe logo of United Airlines there, and of course the gradient work on the tip of the tail fin there, looking rather nice in the light in my room at the moment. Very cool. And then we get to the elevators, these two wings here. Now on the wings on these two elevators you can see these small grey dots just there. There's one in the middle of the shot there, another one in the middle of the shot there. Now they are called logo lights. They are aimed up towards the tail fin to light up the tail fin during night operations or low light conditions at a given airfield. Of course, to give a indication to anyone around the aircraft, or ground crew, or anyone who's in the control towers, a good identification source to know who the carrier of the airline is. In this case, of course, it would be United Airlines. Also, an identification tool to anyone, to other crew around the airfield, and whether it is pilots and whatnot, to know where the aircraft is or who the airline is as well. Of course, that would be on the radio, and of course they would be advised about whether there are aircraft around them. Of course, it could also be used as a marketing tool for anyone who is in like terminals or around the perimeter of the airfield, to give them a sense to want to fly the airline. So very cool. Now there should be another strobe light in between the trailing edge of the elevator here, and of course the starting point of the APU, right in the middle of the shot there should be another little light there. I wonder if it's on the other side. But here we have the APU exhaust, auxiliary power unit exhaust, that of course lets out the hot air that is you know, given by the APU itself. The APU is another one of an additional engine turbine on board the aircraft at the tailplane of the aircraft, of course, to provide the electronics to the aircraft when the aircraft is on the ground. So very cool. And just there, right in the middle of the shot, is of course the APU inlet. It of course is a door that opens when the aircraft's engines are being turned on, and of course that is another one of those exit points to the APU itself. So very cool. Now let's have a look at the opposite side of the aircraft, as there are some minor differences on this side. In the middle of the shot we can see the first difference on this aircraft, which of course is the emergency escape hatch. It of course is where the pilots escape the aircraft when they can't use the actual cabin doors. So very cool. Here we have the forward baggage compartment just there. Moving down the aircraft we can see the rear baggage compartment just here. Very nice. Everything else is pretty much flipped around. Nice up close view of the details on this aircraft. On this end of the wing here we can see the green navigation light just in the middle of the shot there. Very nice. And here we have this side's engine here, of course the Gen X1 Bravo engine made by General Electric. Very cool indeed. Everything else is just flipped around as I mentioned before, so let's go ahead and have a look at the underside of the aircraft. Now in the middle of the shot, if I'm able to give it a wee focus here, we can see where it says that this is indeed a Boeing 787-8, and of course would be nice and up close to anyone who is on the on the ground, putting the chocks underneath the wheels, putting the pins in the necessary place underneath the nose gear. Very cool. And of course there in the middle of the shot is of course the nose gear door. Of course that of course is where the nose gear would retract into once the aircraft is airborne. Very cool. Some more nice details on the underside of this aircraft. Apologies for all the dirt and stuff that's on it. Here we have the beacon light, an essential piece. It's pretty essential to have the beacon light on the aircraft. Very interesting to know that this aircraft this model doesn't have a beacon light on the top of the fuselage, but it has one on the bottom. Very interesting. But here we have the stand hole, of course located for anyone who puts the 400 scale aircraft on a stand. I personally don't. But anyway, here we have the landing gear doors. Of course they open up to either let the aircraft drop down or when the aircraft's gears are being retracted. So very cool. Here is what is known as the ram air turbine, a small turbine propeller light device that drops down below the aircraft in the event of emergencies to provide power to the electrics on the aircraft to help the pilots maintain control of the aircraft, whether they need to return back to the airport or not. Very cool. Also can be used in the event of testing the aircraft. It's usually seen on all aircraft, on all commercial aircraft when it is in testing. Often seen on Dreamliners or A350s at like Toulouse in the Airbus realms, and of course in either Everett or Charleston when the aircraft is being tested for a Boeing. So very cool. Here is the underside of this Gen X1 Bravo engine, looking wonderful and is indeed with the chevrons there. Nicely looking underside of the wing, and of course the curved raked wingtip there, looking wonderful and as ever. Here is the other underside of the other wing. looking rather cool, trying to get it to focus for you guys as well. Here we're moving down the fuselage, we can see the bottom antenna there. And then we get to the point where we can see the entryway to the APU, of course the entryway to anyone who is underneath the aircraft using the groundwork vehicle to go up towards the tailplane of the aircraft. So very cool. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much that for the review. I do hope you enjoy what you came along and saw today in today's review. Different angles that I'm used to in terms of reviewing the models. I noticed that in my model review of the Sichuan Airlines 350-900 with the Panda livery, I pretty much blocked out most of the lights, so that's pretty much why I was having trouble focusing on it. So a different view for the angle of the model reviews from here on in. I do like this angle anyway, so let's stick to this. But anyway, that is this part done, and of course the model review done for you guys. I do go ahead and leave a thumbs up below if you enjoy what you saw today. Great indication of what you enjoyed in today's video, and of course what you see on the channel in general. Comment below what you thought. If there are any feedback that you want to give me in terms of how I can improve my model reviews from here on in, go ahead and leave your feedback below. And of course, what do you think of this model aircraft? Do you have it in your collection? Have you flown the Evo Blue livery for United Airlines? What are your opinions on the livery? Do you like it? Do you not? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you like this mold? What is your favorite mold of the 787? Go ahead and leave any thoughts below. And of course, while you're there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell icon next to the subscribe button to come along to view more content like this. More model reviews are on the way, including the likes of the Singapore Airlines 350 ULR by Panda models, and of course the Qatar Airways 350-1000 by Aviation 400, and of course that very exciting model review that I have coming up of the Singapore Airlines Megatop 747-400 by HX Wings wearing the tropical livery. Don't want to miss out on that. Subscribe, make sure you have the notifications set as on to come along as soon as those videos go live onto the channel. If you want to come along and support me on my whereabouts on social media, go ahead and scan the QR code you can see on the screen now. They'll lead you straight to my Instagram page for Asia International Airport. That's where you can see all the photos of my model aircraft, ins and outs of the news, and of course updates regarding my whereabouts on social media in general. And of course, if you want to go ahead and check out all the links in one full place, go ahead and scan the QR code you can see on the screen now. That will lead you straight to my Linktree page with all of the links that I have in my social media realms in one full place for easier access. Now, if you don't have the means to scan any of those QR codes you just saw a moment ago, there are links in the description below for helping you where you need to go. It is, of course, for easier access, of course. And thank you very much for coming along and tuning into today's video. Of course, the model review of this United Airlines 787-8 released by NG Models wearing the gorgeous Evo Blue livery. Now on the end screen soon enough will be some options for you guys. On the left hand side would be my most recent video here on the channel. On the right hand side would be the full list of model reviews I've done so far here on the channel. In the middle will be where you can subscribe. But until next time guys, fly safe, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.